What's up, guys? We missed Scott Farrell. Of course, you got the great Mafia, Brian Ciano, executive producer for On the Bench. Been doing it for a long time. And then you got me, the lame Shepard kid. So, we're going to start off with this, okay? By the way, hi, Mom. Just kidding. We're going to start off with this. Huge Monday Night Football game. People had the Steelers losing. They had the Chargers winning because this was going to be a joke game because Michael Vick, people thought he had lost every single skill a quarterback loses. People thought, listen, Landry Jones, where are you? That's how bad Michael Vick has been. That they were calling for Landry Jones, a guy who I think could be outplayed by Sam Bradford on a bad one leg. So what do you think of the Steelers' victory? How important is it for that franchise? And do you see Michael Vick now being the guy going forward for this team?
Well, the win was obviously very big for the franchise. Obviously, the way they came out against Baltimore last week, blowing that game late, don't have faith in their kicker, Scooby Snacks, Scooby, he's gone. They signed a kid who hasn't even kicked a field goal in NFL play yet. Not having confidence in the kicking game, not having confidence in Vic because they give him the chances on fourth down a couple times last week in that Baltimore game. He blows it. They come back, get the late win, even though they were awful early. They come back late and get the win. It's a huge win for them because that saves their season to me. If they lose this game, they're done. I know that Baltimore stinks. I know that Cleveland stinks. But Cincinnati's running away with that division right now. And the rest of the AFC, there's some teams that are kind of iffy. But that AFC East with the Patriots, the Jets, and maybe even the Bills being in the mix for wild cards and championships of the division, it would have put them very far behind if they lost that game. So that's huge for them. It saves their season. I don't know if it's going to make him a contender yet because you still got time before Big Ben comes back. It was a gutsy call to go for it on the touchdown.
Do you like that call?
I love the call because, like I said, you don't have faith in kicking game.
Yeah.
You don't have faith in your quarterback getting the run. We saw Vic. He's slow. He's not getting around the edge for that touchdown.
Yes.
If you're going to go for that play, you got to put it in the hands of your best player because they didn't do that last week and it cost them. They do it this week, and it comes out, smelling like roses. So that's huge for them. But as far as Vic goes, I'm still not sold on him being back. A lot of people are going to take this game as, he had a great game. He leads them to the win because he had a good drive at the end. He had that 24-yard scramble. He had the big play for the game-tying touchdown to Eaton. Before that, he was awful. He was the same Vic we saw last week. We saw nothing out of that offense before that besides Le'Veon Bell. So while he came back at the end, he led them down to tie the game. He led them down to win the game. In the end, I still don't see Michael Vick as a good solution. And it's going to be tough for them next week against Arizona.
See, but I think, here's what's amazing about sports. Michael Vick looked like he had not picked up a football in 10 years. He looked like he was just getting off of the sentence from the dog issues he dealt with, and it was his first game back from a 4-year absence. But Michael Vick proved that once you had it, you always have it. And that was the amazing thing. We saw a guy who was basically reincarnated from 2002 with Dan Reeves. That's how special it was to watch him. It almost reminds me, I'm going to bring up a painful memory of what Tebow did to your Jets. Was it 4 years ago? Oof. You remember Tebow looked like he couldn't play a lick of quarterback, and then all of a sudden, right, there you go. But when the fourth quarter comes, they all of a sudden look like John Elway at the end of the drive. To me, watching Michael Vick, watching his teammates respond to him the way they did, that franchise is completely sold on Vic. And I'll tell you this much. That franchise, and especially the players, are holding up their hands and putting Mike Tomlin on a pedestal because the confidence that he showed in that offense, I don't think I've ever seen a play where on the road you have 5 seconds to score. So you're thinking a screen, you're thinking a very quick flat out, anything. Even a QB sneak diving over takes 3 seconds, you call a timeout with 1 second. We won't get even into the whole time debacle. But what Vic did, making plays at the end of the game, running the football 24 yards up the middle. He still looked faster than any other guy in the field when he did that. It's remarkable to watch. This is the momentum the Steelers needed. You know they're going to catch Cincinnati one way or the other, even if it's in the AFC playoffs. I love it. I love what it did for Tomlin. More importantly, I love what it did for Vic and the spirit of this team. There was not a happier guy than Big Ben on that sideline.